Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concept. So today we're going to talk a little bit about taping. And so I had a lot of questions on previous videos and comments, and so we thought we'd shoot a quick little video and let you kind of know why you use the tape, why I sometimes do, why I sometimes don't, and just kind of give you a quick little overview for whenever you're laying out your Hydrographics film on why you need the tape. So tape is not anything spectacular. You can use the packaging tape, you can use yellow tape, green tape, blue tape. It doesn't really matter on that. The main thing is that you have normally two sizes. You have like a 3/4 or 1 inch tape, and then sometimes, not very often, but sometimes I do even use a 2 inch tape. Now, everything is of course going to be dependent on the film, but that's kind of what we're making the video for, so that way you can see the differences. So I've got a couple of different films here that we've worked with in the past that come to mind real quick on why I sometimes tape the film. And so one of the films that I'm going to show you here is, this is our CF282. Now we've let this sit out for probably a couple of hours or so, and so it's got a little bit of humidity to it, and of course it's wanting to roll up. So in this case right here, this film, if it sat like that, I would be perfectly fine, because I could just take this and then sit it down there and be perfectly fine, but it's not. And so the film actually sets like this right here. So whenever I set this down and I lay it down in the water, if I get any little spot in it or whichever, it's going to continue to roll just like this all the way up until it's about that big, even though I started out with a piece that's like that. So to help prevent the film from rolling up on itself whenever we have it in the water, what we're going to do is we're going to use the tape. And so that's going to be the first reason why I'm going to use the tape, is because possibly the film is rolled backwards, or it's wanting to curl up quite a bit because of the humidity or other factors. And so that's where the tape's really going to help out, because then it's going to give me a more rigid side all the way around. Now, do I need to use all 4 sides with the tape? No, you don't. Normally I use the 2 longest sides, and that's more than enough structure to help the film to not actually want to just curl up and under whenever we lay it down in the water. So, very simple, very quick. We can take that, set that down, and then tape that off there, and then we'll set this back out as much as we can right there, and then we'll take our tape again, set that like that, get that straight, and then now we're ready to go. So we'll cut our tape off right at where the film is. We'll pick it up, and then now whenever we go to lay it down in the water like this, it's a lot more rigid and it wants to stay where it's at, and that's exactly what we want. So let's go ahead and lay this in the water and we'll show you what's going to happen. All right, so of course here's the one with the tape. As you can tell, we go right down on the edge like that, come all the way down, it sets, we're good to go. Coming right back around, we have this film right here, and so we're going to try to lay this down in the water as best we can. So we'll set that down like that, set that down, but you can see how it's already starting to curl up. And then if you notice how if I come in and I pull that in like that, it wants to pull in even more. And so having the tape on this right here definitely helps in getting the entire film to lay out, and you get the entire surface area that you need, instead of that film wanting to just curl under. So then that way, of course, you just lose some of your area that you're through here. Now this one wasn't as bad, but the next one that you lay down in the water could curl up all the way to right there, and so then your part that's that big will now turn into a part that's that big. So this is one of the reasons why we use the tape, so then that way we have a lot more rigidity and we can use the entire piece of film that we cut for the part. All right, so another reason why you're going to use the tape or not tape. And so we've got another print right here. Now this print, and we've already used this before, so we already know this ahead of time, but sometimes you may not. This print right here like a lot of the other films, they will expand whenever they are set down in the water. Not a big deal, they're just starting to hydrate. But if you tape the edges all the way around or even on two sides, the problem is that whenever you tape it, it cannot expand, so it creates wrinkles into itself. And so that's one thing that we definitely want to make sure that we try to prevent. Now, this one is different from the one that we just used, which is the CF282, and so it's not really wanting to curl up hardly at all. It's pretty much staying right where it's at. It's exactly what we want. So we'll show you here what it looks like without any tape on it. So we'll let that sit, and then what you'll notice is that as this sits right here, you're going to see it start to wrinkle right across here, because that's where I first initially put it down at, and then you'll see the wrinkles start coming all the way out through here. And so you can see that this pattern is actually starting to get larger. Now I've got a couple of bubbles right in here, not a big deal, but the main thing is that this whole entire print actually expanded whenever it was laid down on the water. And so we're going to cut out another piece of film that's just the same amount, and we're going to tape it all the way around and then show you guys what happens with that. All right, so now let's show you what happens whenever you tape it all the way around. And so the problem that you're going to see is that if you tape it all the way around and you combine your edges all the way overlapping like this right here, then the problem is that it has nowhere to expand because you're making your own border. And so the problem with that is that now you're going to start seeing a whole bunch of wrinkles in the film that possibly could not come out, and then now you're going to have to try to get those out in other ways. So definitely want to make sure that if you do tape this, you have to know which film that you can do that with. So you can see how we've got a lot of wrinkles showing up right in here, and then now everything is wrinkling up onto itself. And so the problem is once this sets and it's ready for activator, then now you could possibly have wrinkles coming all the way down through here in your film, and then those overlapping wrinkles will not come out, and then of course now your print is ruined because you have a line or some type of wrinkle going all the way across your film before you even dip it. So definitely want to make sure that normally it's better to just do two sides, but you can do four, but there's a kicker to that, there's a catch to that, that you have to make sure that you relieve the area that the wrinkles are in, because you can see here, like right in here, you can see those wrinkles that it's starting to get right in here. And then we've also got another long one that runs all the way right down through there. And then of course you can see the wrinkles that are not coming out all the way through there. All right, so you saw what happened whenever we taped all the sides all the way around. Now at this point, for me, I would just tape two sides, so then that way I have less amount of wrinkles. Now you can still get wrinkles on the taped side, but you get a lot less. Or the other thing that you can do is you can cut slits in the tape. And so we're gonna do the exact same thing with the exact same pattern, same size and everything. The only difference is that we're going to cut slits in the tape itself. And so what that does is it gives it relief for whenever it is trying to expand, it can actually expand. Now the problem is that you have to have a good divider system set up whenever you cut your slits all the way around, because if not, then the film can just go out anyway. And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make sure that we are past the tape, and then we're going to slit it all the way through. So that way, whenever the slits want to expand, they can, and they're already past the tape itself. And so there's not really a perfect science to this. Normally 1 to 3 inches, and you can just kind of go through here just kind of fairly quickly like this and just start cutting relief cuts all in there. Now the problem with this is that you no longer have rigidity in the edges of the film. Because the tape is cut, it no longer helps hold those edges as tight. And so now whenever you go to pick up on a film like this right here, now all of that is cut, which is fine for this demonstration, but you definitely want to make sure that you keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and get this on the water. So one thing that I am going to do is I'm going to move my divider out a little bit. And so what you're going to see here is that the slits, there's almost no room in the slits right now. But if you notice how much more room that we're getting in all of these slits now that that film has expanded like that. And so now we're allowing that film to pretty much have excess room to expand out, and then now you can see how all the slits are open. And so now it is hydrated, and now it is starting to shrink back in together, and you can see that these slits are all coming back together, which is really nice, exactly what we need. So of course now we can take this, we can pull our dividers back down in, set that down, set our other divider down, and then now we can spray it with the activator. But the main thing on the reason why we do this is because we have no wrinkles on the film. And that's exactly what we want, is no wrinkles on the film. So that way we know that our print is going to come out as smooth as it can if it's activated correctly. So hopefully this video has really helped you out. If you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips and tricks, as well as let me know in the comments section what you think. Have you been using anything else that's been helping you out? And you know, do you tape all 4 sides? Have you found that taping 2 sides is better? Or are you like me that kind of uses just independently depending on which film it is? Also, if you haven't already, definitely check out the links below in the description. We also have a really great training programs that will help you out with anything hydrographics related, whether it be on-site or in-house or even online. We have it all set up and grouped all together there, so that way you can pick which one is going to be best for you. I'm Bryan from Liquid Concepts, and this is how we customize your world. We'll see you guys next time.